Hello again, guys. Thought I would share a little bit with you guys regarding painting of supports inside Orca Slicer. Should be roughly the same for Bambu Studio. I have this object here. I want to print it like this because I have two colors and I want to use PETG to support it. But I put chamfer on the bottom. I want to support that, and I also want to support the edges. Let me just select it and you can see better. So I want to support the edges here, and I also want to support, let me see, I want to support the lower edge here using PETG. Now what I have found with the paint support in Orca Slicer, this seems to be focus based. So normally I would go in and I would select fill and on overhangs only, because I only want to have overhangs. And you can see now that when the highlight overhangs is at 0, it doesn't really show any overhangs, even though there are. If I set it to 1, it will show the most prominent one, which is the big fat one. Now the problem comes when I also want to put overhangs or supports on this side here. Because if I increase the highlight of this, you can see that it also will start to demand support for the threads. I don't want that. I don't want to support the threads, but I do want to have the paint here. So I'm going to show you guys how you can do that without ending up with a paint that looks weird. So I'm going to erase all painting now. And if you see, if you paint like this, you often get like blobs of supports where you don't want them, you know. So I'm going to show you how you can stay within the parameters of the overhangs, depending on where you are. So let's erase all the paint first and just set it back. So I'll start with the bottom here. So I'll zoom in. And you can see I have kind of a big bezel here, but it doesn't really matter. And then when I start to overlay to do this, I get the big one in the top. So I'll start with this one. So I'll leave this at just 1 because I want the main one. And then I'll just use this and overhangs. Okay. And there is some text here, but I do want support on those, so I'll just fill those in as well. I'm left clicking now, in case you're wondering. So I'm just covering those with supports as well, because I want a flat surface underneath. I want the letters will be printed in gold anyway, so there. So there, now everything is supported. So let's say I want to just increase the supports for the edge here. And normally, since I already selected this now, I can increase the overhang size. If you see here now, it's only increasing there for now. So I want to have it roughly there. Now at this point I will change to using a circle, but I will still leave it on overhangs only, because it means it will not create support painting on the non-overhang areas. So I'll go down and I'll just start. I'll increase the size of my painter a little bit so it's easier. You can see it's kind of big, but even though it's big, it will only paint the area that is on overhang. And I'll rotate it. It makes it so much easier because you don't have to worry about painting it wrongly on the other side. There, so that one is now covered. Then I'll just remove the overhang here, and I'll just zoom in on this part here, and I'll go down maybe 40. Let's see, yeah, I think that's fine. And I'll do start to just paint the overhangs a little bit. And do you notice what happens now? Because I'm zoomed in on this with this one as a focus, it will, when it finishes the overhang here, it will start where I have the focus. So when I get to about 22, I get it to only paint that without the other threads. You see? And that is basically what I want. So now I can go in and I can do the same thing. I'm leaving it on circle, leaving it on overhangs only because that's what I selected. And then I'll just paint it. It doesn't really matter. You can increase the size of your brush. See, like this. There. And now you can see I only painted that. And the result is that when you now remove the overhangs, you can see everything in green is going to be supported, and it looks nice and clean. And that is basically how you can simplify painting supports using the overhangs feature and thinking of it as a focused view when you paint the supports. So I hope that helped you to clean up your supports a little bit so they are not all over the place. And thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.